I'd like to call the Thursday, May 9th regular Board of Trustees meeting in Indian Head Park to order. Can we please have the roll, please, clerk?
Trustee Eck.
He's here.
Trustee Gazis.
Here.
Trustee Saldana.
Here.
Trustee O'Laughlin.
Here.
Trustee Donnersberger. Trustee Svetska.
Here.
And President Wittenberg.
Here. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind everybody that you can view our meetings on Comcast Channel 6, Facebook, and YouTube IHP TV. And if there are any public comments from people that aren't at the meeting, they can always submit them until 4:30 the day of our meetings. I will now give a short report this evening. Wanted to thank the residents of Indian Head Park for supporting my trip this week to Springfield, Illinois. I participated in the West Central Municipal Legislative Conference this week, Tuesday and part of Wednesday, and I met directly with Senator Curran, Representative Laha, and the Illinois Department of Aging, a lady there named Sandy Pastor. They were all extremely welcoming, and we had a lot of great discussions. Some of the things that we talked about at our meetings were grant and loan opportunities for our infrastructure and for senior services, grant money for landscaping for our Wolf Road redesign project, which I know is a very important discussion item, a passive park development request at the IDOT land at Joliet and Wolf Road. We are requesting to use that land as a passive park. We talked about our focus on senior services and support, our efforts to connect the dots for our seniors and our aging population. We also talked about the OSLIDE grant for new park facilities at Sacagawea Park. We've requested a letter of support for that project. And also, we are reviving the discussions on the Joliet Road sidewalk, requesting for funding alternatives. Many years ago, we talked about that project from Representative Jacqueline Collins supporting that. We did get a $175,000 grant for row acquisition research, but we did not actually get the $4 million grant. That was never received. So we need to start that process all over again and try to get the money for the sidewalk on Joliet Road so that we're starting all over. So I want to thank Senator Curran, Representative Laha, and Sandy for their time and efforts for IHP. We are going to continue to work on a list of to-do items with them and prioritize where we need their help for our village. Just a quick update on Wolf Road. As everybody knows, the Wolf Road study team has posted the feedback for all of the submissions of the maps from the Corridor Advisory Council and the public. 142 responses were submitted by the CAC members and Homeowners Association and interested members of the public. So you'll see all of that data on the wolfroad.com study, wolfroadstudy.com site. So take a look. There's a lot of data out there. Everybody was asking for the data. It is there, and we are monitoring the website. We do see some traffic, but I certainly thought there would be a lot more. The information that is used from these studies and from this public feedback will be collected throughout this study time to provide a directional input to the study team. This is directional input. So we are not going to sit and count ballots and all of that. We are going to get directional feedback from the public and from the CAC and from everybody that's submitting all of the data that we've gotten, and it's going to be used for our roadway alternatives. The next meeting for the CAC meeting number 2 is July 2024, and public meeting number 2, these are all tentative dates, is slated for August 2024. Here's some website analytics. We've had some traffic, a little bit of traffic on our website right at the beginning when the data went up, and then it seemed to pretty much plummet. which is okay. Everybody knows where it is now, and they can go find it when they have time to look at it. It's a very busy time of the year.
I'm sorry, can he move it up so we can see the data? There's
You know,
more data on there.
It might be cut off. I
Okay.
might have cut it off, I'm sorry. It is on the website, though, if you want to see all these data analytics. It's on the wolfroadstudy.com. A little bit on the Plainfield Embankment and Flag Creek landscaping. For those of you waiting for the gardeners to come from the tollway in Cook County, unfortunately, the plants, the sumacs, and all of the plants for the embankment will not be planted till the fall now. And the tollway has also informed us that they'll be seeking input from our tree and landscape committee regarding Flag Creek landscaping over the next few months. So we know that there were a lot of plants torn out for the tollway project. Now they will be re-landscaping. So we don't know exactly when they're going to call us to do that planning, but we're hoping it'll be soon. We received 2 candidates interested in the Tree and Landscaping Committee, and they will, Brenda and Danielle will be following up with these candidates and scheduling meetings in the near future. And last but not least, I wanted to congratulate Helia. She's going to be leaving us and retiring from, is it 9 years with Indian Head Park? 8 years with Indian Head Park, and how many in Westchester? 7. So she is going to go retire and enjoy her life, and we want to thank you for your service to Indian Head Park. So thank you very much. Alrighty, moving on to item 4, can we get a motion for the consent agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion to approve.
Second.
Do we have any questions or discussion on the items on the consent agenda? Can we get a financial report for the month?
Yes. The financial summary for the month ending April 2024. Our beginning balance, or our ending balance at the end of March was $2,942,000. The payments made during the month of April were $443,000. Our total revenues were $263,000, and our ending bank balance was $2,762,000. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other discussions or questions on the consent agenda items, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Gazis.
Aye.
Trustee Saldana.
Aye.
Trustee O'Laughlin.
Aye.
Trustee Svetska.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
5-0, the motion carries.
Great, thank you. Moving on to new business. Could we please have a motion for item A? Or do we need a motion for swearing? It's already been approved, so. Trustee O'Loughlin?
Sure.
We would like to swear in the Director of Police Operations, Mr. Larry Rafferty, who is joining us this evening.
So if you can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Larry Rafferty,
I, Larry Rafferty,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Director
the duties of Director
of Police Operations
of Police Operations
for the Village of Indian Head Park
for the Village of Indian Park
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Right here. Yes, Larry, would love to have you just give us.
This
couple
is for tall
words.
people, and that's not me, so I'm gonna push this down. I wanted to say thank you to all of you. I have had the great fortune of working, well, it's my 3rd police job, so, but I have the great 4th, he's counting. My old friend there is counting. It's great to be back with Matt. He's a wonderful chief, he's a wonderful guy to work for. I could not ask for any better of a friend and a mentor, and we've known each other a long time, and I appreciate all the things during our careers together. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to work for 3 different villages now, 2 different villages, and 3 police departments now, and this is my 4th. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you all. It's a great village. I know that for a lot of different reasons, and I know the people here are some wonderful, wonderful people. I look forward to serving. I look forward to serving and doing what we can to get us to where we need to be as a police agency and get it to where I know where you want it, Mayor. And like I said, I look forward to working all with you all on the board. And like I said, I've had that great opportunity with two other villages, and I've had great relationships with those boards and the mayors, and I look forward to the same here. So, but I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you for those words. We're behind you 100%. Thank you. Moving on to item B. May I have a motion for item B, please?
I'll make that motion for approval of the professional services agreement with Lauterbach and Amen regarding our village finances.
I'll second it.
Gavin, would you like to give us the details on that agreement?
As you said, President Wittenberg, we are losing our finance manager of 8 years, almost 9, I think, but and that's going to leave, it has the potential to leave a big hole in our operations, but that is going to be filled by Brandy Asbill, who is in the audience. She will be our new finance director from Lauterbach and Amen. And she will have a team of 2 other staff working with her, and they will spend time in the office, but they'll also be available remotely and by phone. And just wanted to, I provided a memo in the packet that kind of describes the reasons for outsourcing our finance operations, and we will achieve some efficiencies in a lot of ways. And with 3 people serving at different levels in the finance operations, I think you'll find that we'll be able to get more accomplished and in a more efficient manner. And, you know, I'll talk a little bit later in the meeting about what we'll miss about Helia, but we will miss her, and this is not, she's one of those folks that can't just be replaced. So that's why we hired a team of 3 people to replace her, plus the support of a partner from Lauterbach and Amen. So really it's 4 people replacing 1. So.
Gavin, can I ask you a question?
And Brandy's also available for any questions too, but
Yeah.
go ahead. Yes.
You'd indicated prior to the meeting that there was some specifically scheduled time at this point when the Lauterbach people were going to be here.
Yes, sir. They will be here Monday, Wednesday. They will be Monday, half a day. Wednesday, Brandy and Scott, the staff accountant, will be in the office all day Wednesday, and then on Friday, Scott will be here all day. So there will be somebody in the office Scott will be in the office 2.5 days a week, and then Brandy will be in 1 full day a week. And then again, they will be available throughout the day, throughout the week, for remote meetings as well as by phone. And Brandy will be attending all of the finance committee meetings. She'll attend board meetings as needed, and other meetings as they come up.
Thank you.
Any other questions as you look at the agreement that's in your packets? Any other questions? Hearing none, can we have a roll call vote?
Trustee Saldana.
Aye.
Trustee O'Laughlin.
Aye.
Trustee Svetka.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
Trustee Gazis.
Aye.
5-0, the motion carries.
Thank you. Can we go on to item C, please? Can I have a motion?
I make a motion, it's a consideration and approval of services agreement with Municipal Collections of America for collection of delinquent debts and fines.
I'll second that.
Are you taking this one, Gavin?
Yes, I can take it, and Chief, you could add anything you feel I missed. This was brought to us from the police department. Eve Gambla, who has been here for several months now, has done a lot of work to catch us up on delinquent fines and fees, and she's done everything she could, and there's still some outstanding fees. We feel that bringing on this collection agency, Municipal Collections of America, will help us to get the remainder of those that are outstanding, and then continuing as we go, as other fees and fines get late, we'll be able to rely on collection services, Municipal Collections of America, to get those fees for us. The arrangement is we will get the full amount of any fees collected. There is another ordinance that is up for consideration by you tonight that will allow us to add a fee for the cost of collections, and that is how this company makes their money, is off that extra fee, the late fee, if you will, or the collections fee. So we will, again, get 100% of the fine, but give them a portion of that collection cost, and that is all outlined in the agreement.
I have a question. In rough numbers, what's the total debts and fines that are due us roughly? Just round to the nearest 10,000. Over or under 10,000? That has not been collected, yes.
That I don't know. What happened is Eve just started sending out notices when she got here.
It's not on.
And anyway, she started sending them out when she got here. She has so far collected over $6,200. Some come back with a change of address, and we kind of ends there. What this company's going to do is they do what's called a skip trace. They run this person's name and address, former address, and will come up with a new address, and they will send out all the information. They will do the collection from us, but a number, I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
It's free to us, we get the full fee of what's collected, and their percentage. We say if it's $100 fine, I think they get $35 additional.
And we can get that information from you, because I have heard a number from Eve. I just can't quote it at this point, but it was significant.
And I have a question. He kind of mentioned that the ones that are coming back that we're gonna get help with is because you can't find the person anymore. But do you have any that you have found that they have not paid and you have to send to collections?
Any that we haven't found? No, once it came back, we didn't do anything further. It's a lot of time, a lot of resources, and that's why we want to do this. Somebody else can do it for us.
And just to clarify, how many attempts are there to get the payment before, to your knowledge, how many attempts have you made to get the payment from people in average?
You saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
We send a letter out, and then they'll either pay it, or they don't pay it. We will send it again. Eve will send it maybe twice, but that's it, because we're paying postage, everything else.
Okay.
A lot of
Just
times-
for clarification, that they are being attempted
Yeah,
twice by the village.
And I will say, prior to Eve arriving in January, there was no attempts, so.
Okay, there you go. That's the answer. Okay, thank you.
Yes, this is one of those items that was dormant, and we are resurrecting. And we're very appreciative of Eve and Larry and all of the people that are working on this, so thank you. Any other questions on this? Seeing there are none, can we please have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee O'Laughlin,
Aye.
Trustee Svetska,
Aye.
Trustee Eck,
Aye.
Trustee Gazis,
Aye.
Trustee Saldana.
Aye.
5-0, motion passes.
Thank you. Moving along to item D.
I'd like to make the motion to extend the contract with Thomas Engineering that has, that has expired, and we're extending it for 2 years. Is that right, Gavin?
No, that will be under old business item A, that with Strand.
Oh.
And I would actually ask that the board defer this one. We had it on the agenda. We were working with Thomas Engineering on the 2024 road repair program, and we've decided that we're going to look a little more at that and bring it at a later date. The road program right now, the first phase of the road program for this year is going to be pavement rejuvenation, crack sealing, and those items have traditionally been out of the general engineering services agreement that we have with Thomas. So they'll be covered by that, and we'll come back later in the fiscal year with a recommendation for road program, depending on how much funding we have after the other items that we're taking care of.
In that light, I will withdraw my motion, and we'll defer that to the old business item when we get to it.
Can we have a motion to refer it to staff for further,
Defer to next meeting.
defer to
Make
to
a motion
staff?
to defer to
I'm
next
not
meeting.
sure, is it next meeting, or do you, Kevin, do you want it to be referred back to staff so that you can bring it back when it's ready?
Yes, referred back to staff so we can bring it back when it's ready.
We'll make that motion then.
Second.
Alrighty, we have a second, a first and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee O'Laughlin.
Aye.
Trustee Svetska.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
Trustee Gazis.
Aye.
Trustee Saldana.
Aye.
5-0 motion carries.
Thank you.
May we have a motion for item E, please?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-06, appointing Gavin Morgan as an authorized agent for IMRF.
I'll second that.
Another item that Helia is abandoning in her wake is serving as our IMRF, Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, our pension plan, as our authorized agent. So I will be taking over those duties and sharing those with our finance team. But you need to take action to to appoint me as the authorized agent for IMRF, please.
Are there any other questions regarding authorization for IMRF? Seeing there are none, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Svetska.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
Trustee Gazis.
Aye.
Trustee Saldana.
Aye.
Trustee O'Laughlin.
Aye.
5-0 motion passes.
Moving right along, can we please have a motion for item F?
Oh, boy, do I want to make this one. It's rather long, but we move that that the village approve the funding for the pump house for $1,490,000 in debt certificates. That'll be issued later this month.
Second.
Do I need to say any more than that?
Unfortunately, I'm sorry you do. So
you need
these
to
things
read
are
it out
very
loud.
technical, so if you wouldn't mind reading it exactly as it is on the agenda, that would be most appreciated.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Consideration for approval of ordinance 2024-08 authorizing and providing for an installment purchase agreement for the purpose of paying the cost of capital improvements in and for the village, and for the issuance of approximately $1,490,000 debt certificate series 2024, evidencing the right to payment under said agreement, providing for the security for and means of payment under said agreement of said certificates, and authorizing the sale of said certificates to winning bidder thereof, excuse me.
And I second that again.
Are there any questions, or are there any additional things you need to be providing at this point, Gavin?
I'll just give a real quick overview, and then Anthony Michelli is here to answer any of your questions and kind of talk a little more in depth about the issuance. The winning bid has been received from Robert W. Baird and Company, Incorporated, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for the purchase of $1,485,000 debt certificates, Series 2024, to be issued pursuant to Section 17B of the Local Government Debt Reform Act. And you are considering the adoption of Ordinance 2024-08, providing for an installment purchase agreement for capital municipal improvements in and for the village, authorizing the issuance of said certificates evidencing the rights to payment under said agreement, and providing for the sale of said certificates. Sounds familiar. The pertinent terms of the bid and certificates are that the length of maturity will be 2024 to 2028. The rate of interest is 3.5339%. The purchase price is a total of $1,537,440.64. Anthony, if you want to give more details, and there may be questions.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gavin. And I think Gavin did a great job covering most of the details. I'll say that we took competitive bids this morning for the issue of the debt certificates. We received 2 bids. The bid from Robert W. Baird and Company was the best bid received at about 3.53%. We originally went out with the $1,490,000 number using preliminary estimates for the interest rates and costs. After the bids came in, we resized the issue to $1,485,000. So we dropped $5,000 off the total par amount as we got all final costs and interest rates included. So we're happy with the results. We now move on to closing, which will be May 23rd. So that's when funds will come to the village. After all costs, this will be $1.5 million in project funds for the village. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
What was the $5,000 difference between the $1,490,000 and the $1,485,000? Where does that go?
Where does that go? That was the $1,490,000 was based on preliminary cost of issuance.
Yes?
And when we went out for the sale, tightened up with final costs, they were $5,000 less approximately.
Okay.
So you still get the same $1,500,000 deposited as planned. We just now issue $5,000 less because we don't have as many costs.
Thank you. We'll take it.
Any other questions for our partners at Spear Financial? Seeing none, can we please have a roll call vote?
Trustee Eck.
Yes.
Trustee Gazis.
Aye.
Trustee Saldana.
Yes.
Trustee O'Laughlin.
Aye.
Trustee Svetka.
Aye.
5-0, motion passes.
I'd like to just thank everybody on the Finance Committee and everyone else that spent all of their time evaluating that option for funding for our village and our administration. So thank you very much. Moving along to item G.
I make a motion considering the approval of ordinance 2024-09, adding a new section, collection fees and costs, to Chapter 1, general provisions of the municipal code for the village of Indian Head Park, Illinois.
I'll second it.
As mentioned previously, this is the companion with the services agreement for Municipal Collections of America. This will amend our municipal code to allow us to add up to a $35 fee for collection costs to cover our costs. And I'd be happy to answer any questions, or Chief can answer any questions about it.
I have a question. When does it go into effect? Is it immediate?
The effective date is after its passage and publication as provided by law.
Okay, and now the second question is, you are adding this, this is just for clarification to the public, you're adding this new fee and it's being tacked onto past debt when you send it to collections, and can our lawyer just tell us that that is correct, that is how it's done?
That is correct. That's for past due amounts. So that, as Gavin indicated, it will help also defer the cost of the collection agency that was the subject of the matter previously on the agenda.
So to clarify, it's not that the law is retroactive, it's that our actions are current, and therefore that's why we can tack that new cost to
Right, because
bills
they
that are owed
haven't,
from before.
right, because they
Okay.
haven't paid their debt, and their debt is now past due, and this is a consequence of that.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the collection fees and costs changes? Seeing none, can we have a roll call vote?
Trustee Gazis.
Aye.
Trustee Saldana.
Aye.
Trustee O'Laughlin.
Aye.
Trustee Svetka.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
5-0, motion passes.
Alrighty, moving on to item, section 6, old business. Can we please have a motion for item A?
My catch-up motion here is consideration for approval amendment number 4 to the general on-call municipal engineering services contract with Strand Associates Inc., extending the terms of the agreement. And so move.
Second.
Okay, second from trustee Saldana.
Hmm?
Any questions about this
I read it.
extending the term agreement with Strand?
How long is the extension?
2 years.
From what date?
Actually, it expired April 2023, so it would go to.
2 years from 2023, so it's only 1 year in reality, okay.
Yes.
So we've been paying them on a day-to-day basis?
We've been paying them on a task order basis.
Task order basis, okay.
And we will continue to pay them on a task order basis. So each time there is a new project or a new assignment for Strand, we will bring a task order for approval by the board.
Any other questions on this Strand agreement? Hearing none, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Saldana.
Aye.
Trustee O'Laughlin.
Abstain.
Trustee Svetka.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
Trustee Gazis.
Aye.
4-0 with 1 abstention. The motion carries.
Alrighty, we are on section 7 now. We would love to entertain any public comments. Did we receive any from email today at all? Did we, Andres?
I'm not aware of any public comments that we received.
Thank you. Do we have any from the audience here that are with us tonight? Seeing none, we will go on now to department reports. Mr. Gazis, Trustee Gazis, do you have anything?
Planning and Zoning Commission typically meets on the first Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. Unfortunately, we've been unable to have meetings over the last couple months due to lack of quorum. We are entertaining candidates for that open commission position. I believe there were a few applicants. But just for everybody's edification, Planning and Zoning Commission, great way to get involved, open to the public, the first Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. in this room. Thank you. No report otherwise.
Trustees Vesco?
So I've got 2 semi-reports. One for landscaping. As you already heard the mayor say that we have 2 new candidates that we're going to be discussing and bringing on board, should they still desire to do so. And we have not yet scheduled a meeting for this month. We likely will defer that until next month. I did want to make an observational comment that is sort of landscaping related. I've noticed in the area there's been an uptick in possums that have been hit on the road. I think some of you all know there are only marsupial that's native to North America, and they are incredibly beneficial at removing dead things, especially ticks, from our yards. So I just want to let people know they're not rats. They're nomadic creatures. Please try not to hit them as they cross the street. They are migrating for food, and right now is baby season, so they're transporting babies back and forth. So if y'all could just be careful with that, that would be amazing. Okay, economic development. 3 items. So I think you guys might have recalled last year we had a Spring Fling Festival. which went really well. The weather was kind of wonky, but we made it through. We've decided this year, because spring is kind of already upon us, that we are going to move that to fall. So we are going to be planning a fall festival. We are still pending a few decisions on dates, but as soon as we have that, that will be out there for the public. So you guys can start planning for that. We are also continuing to receive a lot of comments about the status of the building and most recently the parking lot in the Triangle area. So we are actively continuing to pursue ways to improve that. I think that would benefit the entire village, and the committee feels very strongly about encouraging improvement and hopefully getting some traction this calendar year on that. And then the last comment, kind of more of a holistic approach, just to let you guys know, the committee is still working actively on bringing together resources in the community to further connect our businesses with our residents for the overall, benefit of both of those parties. So that's the end of my report. That's all we got. Thank you.
Trustee O'Loughlin.
No report at this time.
Trustee Eck.
Thank you. Two, one on Public Works, 3 items. We're continuing to focus on the progress in the pump house, and I believe Joe's going to talk about that a little bit further. We're also starting the analysis of the facilities usage that was based on an engineering report from over a year ago, and we're getting into that now. And then the third area is coming up with a 5-year plan for streets and improvements, and Public Works is working on that with staff. As it relates to the Finance Committee, last month we worked on the budget, which was approved. Second, we just had the $1.5 million debt for the pump house passed just now, which we'd worked on. We're also going to be focusing on the investment returns on available liquidity for the village. And we've also been talking about alternative staffing on to fill the gap that Helia's departure is going to create. And so we're working on all of those issues. On each of those committees, we meet once a month, and the public's invited. The agenda is published. That's my report.
Trustee Saldana.
No report.
Moving along to the village clerk.
I have no report.
Thank you. Village treasurer.
We had a U.S. Treasury certificate mature on April 15th, and the banker suggested that we deposit that in our max safe account because the interest earned is higher than what it is in a U.S. Treasury certificate at this moment. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Village attorney.
No report tonight, thank you.
Village administrator.
Thank you, President Wittenberg. I just wanted to go through some of our priorities and give you updates on those. My first priority under administration was hiring an assistant to the village administrator, which I did, and I bragged about it at our last meeting. And he's also doing double duty as the village clerk. So thank you for coming back for a second meeting, Andres. And another priority in administration was applying for grants, and Amy Jo mentioned some of the grants that we are pursuing. There's also under that category finalizing reimbursements from some of the ones that we had applied for in the past, including a general roads grant from the Department of Community Economic Opportunity, and then that from that same source is the Joliet Road sidewalk grant that you mentioned, the $175,000 grant, which we are looking into. I'm talking with DCEO about how we could repurpose that grant and still get those funds and use them for related but different purposes. And then finally, there's the Acacia Drive reimbursement that is still outstanding from that project. Some of the grants that we're going to be pursuing, or that we're pursuing right now in the next couple of weeks, is coming up a FEMA Emergency Management Planning grant. And I attended a seminar on that. I've attended a webinar and a seminar on getting prepared to apply for that preparedness grant, and we will do that. You also mentioned the OSLAD grant for Sacagawea Park. I'm attending a webinar next week for that to be prepared to apply for that. We have put in an application to Lyons Township Mental Health Committee for a grant that would help us with serving seniors in the community. We also put in for a similar grant to both Motorola and AARP. Motorola, we are not getting that grant, and then we have not heard from AARP yet. Pursue other grants and hear about those that we've already put in for. Then I want to let you know I'm working on some projects with ICMA, the International City County Management Association, on data-driven decision-making, which will involve getting a lot of resident feedback and utilizing that feedback in setting other priorities, future priorities, and determining how we can address those priorities, as well as setting up to you all for discussion and consideration in the future. But I want you to know that that the foundation work has begun on that. Under human resources, our first priority was updating employee benefits. We are now offering a PPO. We're having an open enrollment event for all eligible staff next week to talk about all the benefits, the HMO, the PPO, our vision plan, our dental plan. And we will have representatives from each of those come and talk to us and give more information and detail about that. And then we're working on some other areas of HR. We are updating all of our job descriptions. We have some jobs which don't have job descriptions, which are getting them, and we have some that are just out of date. Under finance, one of our and of course those will be policies we'll bring to the finance committee and to the board for approval. And another big project, and this was something that Helia always wanted, was a new budget program, and we'll be talking with the finance team about that, our options on that. We've already actually begun those conversations around, do we stay with Locust? Do we go to Locust in the cloud? Do we do a whole different program? So those conversations will continue, and that will be your legacy, Helia. And then under community development, Andres has really stepped in and taken a lead on being the staff to both the the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Economic Development Committee. So he'll be helping with driving those discussions and to whatever direction that the board and those committees set. But that's going to really be an opportunity to step up our game in that area. We've already been talking with the Planning and Zoning Commission about engaging a consultant for a zoning code review and then a more comprehensive plan. And as Trustee Sveska mentioned, we're really looking at what we can do to enhance the opportunity, the development opportunity at Joliet and Wolf. So that work will continue. And that's it for the administration area. I also wanted to point out we are making slowly some minor improvements to the boardroom. You may have noticed it's brighter, and all the lights are the same color. So. And none of them are burnt out because they were installed today. And there's still a few more lights up here at the dais that need to be replaced, but it just brightens up the place. And hopefully for those of you viewing at home, it looks better on TV too. So And speaking of that, we have gotten some new equipment. Oh, and just so you know, the lighting is part of that ComEd program, the same one we did at the Public Works Garage, where most of the cost is covered by ComEd, and these are high efficiency bulbs, so they're better for the environment. So they will, you know, we can always adjust the light if it's too bright, but we're shining light on local government right now, so. Yes. But also under the rubric of presentation, we are getting upgraded equipment for our AV system. So we had a lot of complaints from home viewers about not being able to hear what's going on here, so we're upgrading that equipment. David installed a lot of new stuff today. We're also going to be moving all of the equipment from back there into this space here that is currently my office. I'm going to be moving to Helia's office, and so the equipment won't be out there, it won't be in the open, so it'll be more secure, it'll be more presentable in here, and we'll be able to continue providing the programming that we do. And those costs will be covered by reimbursement from the West Central Cable Agency, so completely. And that's also good. Charlie mentioned that we're working on the capital improvement plan, and that's going to cover our road programs, which will be every, from reconstruction down to just rejuvenation. And it will also cover facilities, as Charlie mentioned, and even our tree canopy will be part of that 5-year capital improvement plan. It's going to be a very detailed plan. It's going to coordinate scheduling for all of these projects over the 5 years, and it's also going to address funding, how we're going to fund those projects over 5 years. And finally, I wanted to talk about Helia, because I haven't brought her up enough tonight. And this is her very last meeting. That was your last treasurer's report, Helia. It was a very touching moment for me. But Helia is more than just the butt of my jokes. She's more than just managing our finances over the last 8 years. She's held the team together through a lot of changes over the years, especially in the last year. There were a lot of changes. She's offered wisdom to me, to everybody else on staff. She also kind of serves as an ad hoc counselor for a lot of the police department and the administration department and the public works department, and even some of the trustees I've seen in there bending her ear. So, and I wouldn't have, and that ear is always listening, always looking for an opportunity to pitch in, to help. And I appreciate that, and I wouldn't have made it through these first 10 months at Indian Head Park without you. When you come back from my retirement in 20 years, we can talk about those first 10 months I had here. And today I was talking to my predecessor, John DeRocher, and he told me that she was the best hire he ever made in his entire career. So I'm happy he hired her too, and I'm sad she's going.
Me too.
And that's my report.
Thank you. Can we please have department heads report? Chief?
Okay, thank you. As we spoke with last time, we scheduled the police officer exam. We had 42 that were eligible, 34 took the test. We got the results back. We're going to schedule the first block of officers for, potential officers for interviews Saturday morning from 9 to 1 and Tuesday evening from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And then once we get the results of the interviews, then we will start the background process and hopefully get some officers eligible for our department. As far as investigations go, we did 2 trash pulls on the potential subject of our mail thefts. They were negative results. The first one we just did cold. After that, we talked to the company, the garbage company, and they sent an empty truck for us to just pick up that garbage. We picked it up. There was nothing of value for us. However, we do have a potential girlfriend for this person, so we're still following that up. SWAT cameras have seen the suspect vehicle probably 2 or 3 times, but at 4 in the morning, not in our village. Overnight parking, we sent out warnings for a couple of weeks. To date, I believe I'll check with Eve, but I know of 1 ticket so far. Have you had any more problems on your street? Okay, if anybody has problems with it, just call it in, let us know, and we'll make sure they get cited. We have 26 applicants for an April police officer test. I don't have the dates for that. That's gonna be sometime probably at the end of May or beginning of June. We sent an officer to be a field training officer, to start the program for that. Believe it or not, there was no field training process here. So we sent an officer to the school. It was a 2-week school. The officer has now developed a manual. We're gonna go by that manual. We're gonna get officers trained up properly so that they're certified. Citizen Police Academy, Rob Verver's working on getting some dates that will work. Director Rafferty and I will work with them to grab subjects to talk about and get experts in from various departments and disciplines. I'll be working with the labor attorney for the part-time contract, as well as, well, I'm not working on the language for the full-time. It was requested that we work with the union president on some of the language and draft it ourselves, and then we can meet with the attorneys. That's what was suggestion made. We're going to do that. An evidence destruction has been planned, I believe, next week. One of the agencies out south has agreed to let us bring our evidence there. Bring our evidence there for destruction. So we're going to take care of that next week. Director Rafferty's been working with the evidence person. They cleaned it out, and we're going to get rid of some stuff. As far as training goes, we've completed and updated all of our state requirements and submitted to the state, so we're good to go. And Director Rafferty has given me 101 policies in Lexipol to review. So
Wow.
I'll be working on those. And before I forget, most importantly, Happy Mother's Day to all.
Thank you.
And Elliot.
Thank you.
You don't know that.
Thank you so much. Joe, Public Works.
Thank you. I'll start out with the pump house update. All the interior concrete work has been done for installing the pumps, which were delivered and mounted in place. A lot of the piping has been completed on the inside. They're moving along really well. Right now, we're at a point where we need to shut off the power to the building, and we're working with ComEd to coordinate that so they can remove the old equipment in there and bring in the new. We're looking at a mid-July completion date, hopefully. Could be sooner. So far, it's been going really smooth, and hopefully that date stays true. Meeting with the engineer and the contractor tomorrow to go over a couple of small items, but otherwise it's been quiet and good. Last week we met with Thomas Engineering. The week before that we met with Strand to talk about the road program, as we spoke early about, and Strand about the water main project. As Gavin mentioned, we're trying to put together a 5-year capital improvement plan, and I think these couple of meetings kind of gave us a pretty good direction where to go and get us there. So also, when we met with Thomas last week, they gave us a sanitary sewer rehab program. They're looking to get that going and hopefully get it out to bid by early June, and get started on that. Gavin also mentioned the ComEd incentive program. The Public Works building has been complete. Every light there has been updated with efficiency bulbs and whatnot. Now, obviously here, as he mentioned, these lights have been done and the exterior lights. There's still more to be done here, but they're moving right along. Our tree contractor is meeting with me next week to discuss some removals and trimming. Also, our jetting and Vector contractor is meeting me next week to work on some storm sewer issues that we have, and I got a list of some areas that we're going to jet. We've been working on our fleet for vehicle safety. It seems like that was something that has been neglected a bit, so we're trying to get all our vehicles up to code. We started that process this week. Arbor Day was April 26th. We planted a autumn blaze maple. Amy Jo was there, and Christina showed up with a couple other people. We got some photos that's online. It went really well. Speaking of the trees, I've been speaking with other arborists in the neighboring communities and was trying to get an idea of what we should be doing with the cicadas that are coming up. And it's pretty much across the board that only trees that are planted like within the last year or this season should be netted. But we did put a link on our website that you can go on to go to the Morton Arboretum, and it has a link so you can see, learn all about the cicadas and what could be done. I worked with Helia today to work on the locust program because she's leaving, and it was, yeah, in case you didn't know, she's leaving. So it was great, though. She gave me a lot of good information because she's been great, helpful with me. You know, the beginning of my career here, it's been great. So Helia, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And best of luck, of course. A little bit of staff information. Brian, my crew leader, Brian Rebellis, finished his Class C water license classes, and he'll be taking his test in July. I finished my Arbor certification classes, and I'll be taking my Arbor certification test at the end of May. That's my report.
Great, thank you. Good luck on those 2 tests.
Thank you.
Those are hard, both of them. Seeing that there are no other reports, I don't believe tonight we're going to need a closed session, so I would take a motion for adjournment.
I shall make a motion to adjourn, please.
Do I have a second? And can I have a voice vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty, the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.